Hello and welcome to Building Authentic Parent Partnerships. My name is Jessica Wall and I'm an engagement coach. Prior to this new role, I taught kindergarten.
And my name is Pam Sawatzky, and I am a learning consultant. I taught pre-K, K, and grade 3 prior to this current role.
The purpose of today's PD is for you to reflect on your current beginning of the year practices and how they are fostering authentic relationships with parents. Throughout this presentation, we hope you will consider new ways to connect with families and be affirmed in the great work you are already doing. You will notice that some suggestions are pre-pandemic. However, the spirit of that activity may be able to be reworked to maintain safety. Over 50 years of research attest to the fact that engaging parents directly impacts student achievement. In order to move beyond random acts of parent engagement and get to a place where parent engagement is strategically used to impact student performance, we must first begin with relationships and trust. In their book, Beyond the Bake Sale, Ann Henderson, Karen Mapp, Vivian Johnson, and Dawn Davies offer a guide on how to create partnerships between school and family. They write, welcoming, honoring, and connecting with families creates a school community in which everyone says they feel like members of a family. Parents respond to this culture by becoming loyal members of the school community and by taking part in their children's education in ways they had never envisioned. Let's take a moment to explore some school-wide practices that foster an environment that is welcoming and creates space for connection.
Every context is different and each school is unique. Rather than looking at this as a checklist, we invite you to use this as a springboard for reflection. You are going to be asked in a minute to take some time to reflect on these suggestions and how they may fit into your own school's context. And I quote, "Even before families enter the school, they look for reassurance that they will be welcomed when they step through the door." End quote. What practices or signage are present in your school that let parents know they are welcome? Here are a few ideas for you to consider. Number 1, post friendly signs in all major languages spoken by your families that can point out entrances and state that families and visitors are welcome. Signs that simply say, "Report to the office," do not foster a welcoming environment. By simply rewording your signage to something like, "Welcome to our school. We are glad you are here. Please see Ms. Delowski at the office," the message families receive changes to a positive and welcoming one. Second, school staff greet visitors in a friendly way and ask if they can help. A hello and a smile goes a long way to make a person feel comfortable and welcome. During a busy day, it is easy to zip down the hallways and not notice anyone new standing in the hall. Taking that moment to say hello and asking if they are in need of assistance lets families and visitors know that they are valued. Third, teachers, administrators, and other school staff go outside the building to greet and talk with parents. Schools can be intimidating, especially if it is not one you are familiar with. Having someone out front as a greeter can help people feel more welcome and can offer a little reassurance that their child is somewhere good. Perhaps this is a supervision rotation or a volunteered position.
Here are a few other possibilities to consider. Coffee brings people together. It is a connector, a conversation starter, and can be a culture builder. Having coffee, tea, or other beverages available in the school encourage connection and conversation. Often parents rush away after dropping off their child. Some are headed to work, but others might feel as if they are supposed to leave. Have a space available for families to connect with staff and each other. Consider, what does coffee represent in a new relationship? Is there something else that can be put in its place to help foster new relationships? And last, as a staff, you can participate in a community walk and welcome as part of your early welcome and to begin making personal connections. Together with your whole staff, including office admin and janitors, create small groups or partners and map out your area. Stop by each family's home, old and new, to let them know you are excited for the new school year and happy they will be joining. The intention is to make a personal connection with each family. You can even create a welcome bag for each home. A community walk and welcome is not intended to be a home visit. These are short doorway visits to say hello and welcome to a new school year. Working in Sun West, many of our students live on farms or acreages, so a walk and welcome may pose some challenges. Consider the importance of the personal connection to each family. Is there another way to create an early welcome and personal connection when working in a rural setting?
We'll invite you in a moment to pause the video. We'll use the next slide to reflect and discuss. We're going to be using these questions as prompts and a conversation guide. We ask you to reflect on, number one, what does your school already do to build relationships early in the year? 2, reflect on the signage in your building. If needed, you can even go for a walk around the building to consider the messages families are receiving. Is it positive? How might it be changed? Number 3, if you had one wish to help families feel welcome in your school, what would that be? And 4th, what areas could your SCC support you with in family engagement? Using these questions as a guide, consider your own context, and please hit play again when you are ready to proceed.
Up to this point in the presentation, we've looked at a school-wide level of engagement. While that is to be encouraged, we also recognize that what teachers do on a classroom level is crucial to connecting with families. In his book, Engage All Families, Stephen Constantino writes, each family, regardless of their background or preconceived notion, must instinctively sense our desire to make an important personal connection with them, to value their role in the educational partnership, and to support the notion that they are important. Constantino goes on to discuss the old adage, before they will come to you, you must go to them. The relationship begins with us, and our early welcome can help set the tone for the school year, as well as begin creating relationship and trust with parents. We now switch our lens to classroom-based practical approaches to an early welcome. Before we dive into some of our own examples of ways to begin building partnerships with families, we invite you to consider some of your current beginning of the year practices you use to begin building relationship and trust with families. If you are alone, record your practice on a piece of paper. If you are in a small group, you can do this collectively or begin this time individually and then share after a moment of think time. Again, please record your ideas on a piece of paper as we will revisit these at the end. When you finish, push play and continue on. As teachers, we hold knowledge about pedagogy and curriculum. Parent knowledge is information about a child that only a parent holds. By inviting parents to share their parent knowledge, we can learn facts and tidbits about a child that is unique to that individual. For example, a parent can share about their child's likes or dislikes, or they could share strategies they use at home to help self-regulate. When parents share their knowledge and it is honored in the classroom by being placed alongside teacher knowledge, teachers can create a learning environment that is safe and personalized for each child. On this slide, you will see 2 ways you can invite parent knowledge into your practice at the beginning of the year.
I use this Parent 321 in my information package as a simple way for parents to share important aspects of their child with me. I have always had success getting these back. I follow up with a phone call a few weeks into September after I've had a chance to meet the child and see them in my classroom. A way I could differentiate this for parents who are not comfortable writing or are very busy is to use it as a basis for our phone conversation. It usually leads to some good insights and sets the stage for an open relationship where parent knowledge is welcome and valued.
In early August, I mailed out a postcard with a special message for each child. The postcard is addressed to the child because receiving mail when you are young is always exciting. In the message, I briefly introduce myself and tell the families I am excited to learn alongside them this school year. I also have an open invitation for families to write back to me about their child. There are no questions or guidelines, just an invitation to share whatever they think is important or want to share. Since postage costs money, I also share my email as an alternative way to connect. Once we meet in September, I extend the invitation again to write back. The invitation to share parent knowledge is open all year round, but I try to be intentional with this at the beginning of the year.
I hosted a sneak peek Unpack the Backpack night in the fall of 2018. I mailed out invitations along with a letter introducing myself mid-August and held it on 2 evenings in the last week of August. I structured it as a come and go, which allowed for a relaxed atmosphere and ensured that I would be able to welcome each family as they arrived. I felt that I was likely to be at the school anyway on those evenings, and so I just planned some busy work for myself in case I had time to cut some laminating or make labels. It worked very well, and I received lots of positive feedback. The kids that needed to settle in and feel comfortable in the room had a chance to do so, and it allowed an initial conversation with parents to build connection. Westbury adopted the practice school-wide in 2019. Last year, I offered a similar setup, but as a meet and greet at the school playground. Amid the nerves of COVID, it really helped the kids and parents to connect with each other and me in a safer way. The kids got to peek in the classroom window and play at the park while I chatted with parents. I asked the parents to make a wish for their child and write it on a ribbon or rock. The ribbons or rocks are placed in our classroom so the kids can see them all year. I have noticed that the students will go over and look at their rock or ribbon every once in a while throughout the year. It's a way for me to stay grounded in the hopes and dreams that all families have for their children. Parents have told me that it lets them know that their hopes and dreams for their child matter to me. This practice opens up possibility for more conversations in the future.
Making family visible is important as it lets families know that they are valued and matter in the classroom. For children, it is also comforting to see your family present in the room. I often found kids looking at their family photo and love showing off their photo to their peers. Here you can see 2 bulletin boards that make family visible. The first one is from Amber Thompson, a grade 4 teacher. Amber has a new take on the All About Me beginning of the year project. Students, along with their families, were invited to create a puzzle piece that displays information about each child and their family. They created their piece in their home and brought it back to school. When all the individual pieces were placed together, it created a beautiful puzzle that honors each family and child. It lets everyone know that they are a unique and important member of the classroom. The next image is from my kindergarten classroom. Before school started, each family was invited to share a family photo and a small write-up about their summer. Some families brought it at our kindergarten orientation, some families emailed, and others brought it to me after school got started. These pictures and summer stories were also our first sharing activity and became a stopping point in the hallways for many staff and students. Having this information before school started allowed me to get to know families and have a conversation starter before I even met some of them. After I finished with this bulletin board, the family pictures remained in our classroom and were visible for the whole year. At the beginning of the year, typically in late September or early October, I host a family potluck. Eating together builds community. Eating the same food builds trust. Dining together builds relationships. The potluck is not just about building relationship and trust between myself and the parents, but also about relationship building between different families. After we eat and hopefully start to make some connections, we move into our curriculum night. During this time, I share our SunWest I Can outcome maps with each family and discuss what they are and how to read them. Around the room, there are a selection of questions for families to walk through and share their ideas. In these questions, I ask about communication, what they hope children will learn about in kindergarten, what they hope children will do in kindergarten, and any other questions or concerns that they might have about school or kindergarten. In the last question, I invite families to explore the kindergarten curriculum and share where they would like to contribute. The curriculum is written in friendly language through I can statements, so it's easy for families to understand. Parents leave a sticky note with their name of an area they are an expert on or are passionate about, and I can call on them when we get to that outcome. Again, this invitation is open all year round, and as we learn new topics, I will periodically send out a reminder that we are always looking for parent experts to help us with our learning. In the past, I've had a nurse come in, a plant lover, a beekeeper, and more. Parents are an untapped resource with a wealth of knowledge that can help enrich the learning process. Plus, kids are always excited to see their family members come in and be the teacher. Please note, the curriculum and potluck night happened prior to COVID. During COVID, I still invited families in as experts through Microsoft Teams. I encourage you to use your creativity to find unique ways for parents to share their expertise. Now it's your turn to share some of the wonderful strategies you are using in your school or classroom to build relationships with families. Using the list of ideas that you recorded at the beginning of the session, you can connect to our Jamboard page and let us know what you are doing. If you are comfortable, please include your name and grade. This is a way for us to celebrate the great work that is already happening in SunWest, and we want to credit the wonderful work you are doing. Using either the link or QR code, record your ideas using the sticky note feature on Jamboard. This live link right here will take you to the page, and this QR code can be used through an iPad or phone. For those of you who are new to Jamboard, we will quickly walk through how to post a sticky note. When you open the live link, this page will appear. You can see there is already an example on the board from Kelsey Moser, a grade 5-6 teacher. Go over to the toolbar and select the fourth option. It looks like a sticky note. Once you click the sticky note icon, this prompt will appear. You can write your response here. At the top, you can even choose the color you want. When you are done, click Save and the sticky note will appear on the Jamboard page. You can resize and move it to the spot you want. The browser page will automatically save all responses, so when you're finished, you can just exit out. If you're connecting through the QR code on your phone or iPad, it will prompt you to download a free app. Once on, you can click the pen icon at the bottom, then click the plus sign, and finally click the sticky note, and the process will function the same. We hope this space will allow you to connect with colleagues and add some new ideas or strategies to your beginning of the year practices.
All right, that brings us to the end of our presentation. Here we've included some resources that you might be interested in following up with. All of them have been referenced in our PowerPoint. The third example is the research project that Carly Robson-Gilchrist, myself, and Amber Thompson did, and more information, including a video, can be found at the McDowell Foundation website. If you click on the live link at the bottom titled Emma Stewart Resource Center, it will also connect you to some fabulous resources through that hub. The great thing about the Emma Stewart Resource Center is that you can order books that you're interested in and they'll be mailed directly to you. You can also return them at no charge at all.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions or would like to explore this topic further, you will find our contact information on the screen.